Hey y'all, so today for this Medical Mondays, I'm going to be discussing the long-term effects, history, purpose, and other business associated with birth control, from the sexual revolution to the developments in long-term birth controlling methods. I want y'all to think about this. It's normal for you to menstruate every month. So if you don't menstruate every month, can your body function in its normal processes? Okay, I just wanted to ask that question, just to ask it. So first we're going to get into just the early history all the way up into now, and then we're going to have some discussion. So just some early history facts. There are ancient methods throughout history that various cultures have experimented with. Egyptians used to use a mixture of honey and crocodile dung as a barrier method. Other cultures explored herbal concoctions and rituals. In the 19th century, the cornstalk laws came about, and that was around the 1800s in the US, and that basically restricted the distribution of information just about like contraception. In the early 20th century, Margaret Sanger, she emerged birth control activism, and she was a nurse, was a women's rights advocate, and she opened the first birth control clinic in the US around 1916. Later, she founded the American Birth Control League, which eventually became Planned Parenthood. Mid 20th century, you have the pill that came about, and that was in like the 1950s. If you look at 1950s and think of how old people are in the 1950s and certain things that are prevalent and what they're struggling with as far as fertility and the exchange of the estrogen and testosterone in their body, you may see a correlation, you may not. I'm not saying it. So, like I said, in 1950, the pill came about, and this kind of revolutionized birth control, of course. Once the FDA approved it in 1960, it was like a go. So, what this did that people don't really realize, that marked a significant shift in family planning, women just having control over their reproductive choices. So the late 20th century, you had the legalization and accessibility happen. So that's whenever other countries begin to legalize birth control. Social attitude towards family planning has just evolved. So in the 21st century, that's whenever you begin to have technological advancements. So you had certain birth control methods, just like IUDs. They've become really popular. Anything that has like an extended birth control method. Back to the current time, now we have just discussions around whatever you should be doing. But to be honest, who cares about what the general public says or who decides or what's the law? How about we just live our lives accordingly to how we want to? If you choose not to partake, then don't partake. If you do choose to partake, understand the consequences of it, and don't be a burden to your family whenever you have cancer or something and now they have to extend part of their lives just to take care of you because you didn't want to do it for yourself. That's really all I'm trying to say. So lastly, we're just going to talk about some of those downside effects. Of course, the main upside to birth control is that you don't birth. You don't birth every month. So now we're going to talk about some of the downside effects of birth control. So you can always have hormonal changes whenever you're on birth control. Your cycle isn't supposed to fluctuate. PMS and cramping and your body turning and not, it's not supposed to happen. So whenever you are on birth control, it switches the hormones. Not in addition to the hormones that's like in the milk. Because even me, I started at like age 9, 10, and that's considered an hormonal imbalance. The normal is like 16. And how many of us has started bleeding at 16? No. Okay. It can control your mood swings, part of the hormonal changes, and sometimes they say you can reduce your sexual desire. I don't know. Menstrual changes that you can have is that you can have irregular bleeding. You can also have periods of where you don't bleed at all. Your body isn't in its normal function. Okay. So physical health, sometimes people can experience weight gain, nauseousness. Your body doesn't feel good about it. I mean, listen to your body. Of course, especially as you enter into your later ages, there are cardiovascular risk and just blood vessel risk. Long-term use of this can affect your body to be able to absorb nutrients, no matter how much you intake you're still probably at risk. So it depends on how long you are on this. Some studies suggest that it could increase your risk of breast or cervical cancer. Mental health is another effect that it can have on the body, and increase your anxiety and increase your depression. And it also has an impact on your fertility. You don't have an egg being released. Why are there so many fertility clinics and incubator babies that's going to be very much in use in the near future? And people don't recognize they have a pretty popular consumer group that would definitely like to make their own baby. Kind of just wanted to make this video so we can, one, understand the history of where birth control kind of came from, what it does to our body, and as far as what you do with that, that's up to you. I think I've put enough information in this video, and I've made a couple of women health video because I feel like we were put at the most disadvantage. But we just have to listen to our bodies and understand what's normal and what our bodies should be doing. And once we understand what our bodies should be doing, we should go back to that. So that's the purpose of this Medical Mondays. Hopefully y'all found something interesting about the history and its effect on your body. That's what the purpose of this video is for, is to bring about information, toggle y'all's minds, and hopefully enlighten y'all on something about your body that you can now say that you know. Because we should all know about our bodies. So thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.